whoop, whoop. What up, people? What up? It is Mundo Madness Monday tonight. How is everybody doing? Ben, oh my goodness gracious. BK's in the house. And oh my goodness, you guys, thank you all for being here today. And let's see. Oh my gosh. What do we got going on tonight? Tonight um we got a very special treat tonight, man. I got T.anosabers coming in a little bit later for the show. We're gonna start talking tonight about Saber services basically, right? The things that you can get and the things that people ask for if you haven't done them yourself, as far as if you're not an installer, what kind of things are available for you in terms of services, like from the custom saber shop and different things, right? And I think the what up, my friend? Uh, I know who you are, buddy. I know who you are. Man, and I'm wondering if that with all the different services available, and for someone like myself, right? You go into you look into some of these services and you think, man, I probably could do that. And then there are some services where you think you can do it, and it's no, like no way, right? And I'm like, oh no, oh no, I tried, but I can't do it. So, you know, if at that point you probably need to get somebody to teach you how to do it, right? But as long as what up, Cinzy? Man, um, yeah, I think that if you go and you attempt something, right? I mean, you haven't failed at it at all, but if you attempt something and you haven't quite got it right, get some help because there's a lot of help out there for that people are willing to help you with any service that you want for your saber. If you can't do it yourself, okay? And there's a lot of people out there that are willing to help you and to come, and it's such a great community, right, guys? Because we we as not myself, I mean, I'm not that much of an installer because I'm still learning some things as I'm going. Yeah, I've done one, maybe two, but at the same time, I'm still learning quite a few things as I go. Um, as a matter of fact, guys, give me just a second here. And what did I? Oh, yeah. Give me just a second. I'm gonna be out of the picture, but you can still hear me, right? And because I want to update you guys on a few things. Um, a few things saber wise, and for you guys that if you see the background here, you notice that the saber is not there, right? Well, here's the thing. I am attempting to work on my father's memory saber right now. So I've actually took the chassis out, the removable chassis, right? And I am working on it right now. Last night I kind of got a bad CFX board and just started kind of getting where I want my wires to go and everything like that, right? So, of course, the buttons are going to go here, and I'll get that coming up pretty soon. Titan, what up, Titan? All right, man. Everybody's in the house. Everybody's in the house. No, actually, you know what? We are missing Felicia right now, man. We are missing Felicia. And excuse me, guys. Always got to take a drink. um, Right now, it is super comfortable in my garage, man. It is super, super comfortable. And I think again, going back to the memory saber, right? It's going to take me a while because I want to take my time doing it. And of course, you all know Rich. Rich is the one that provided me with the chassis for the saber, right? And and here's the body, of course, right? The body. And I've got that over here. And I didn't keep the body in there for a reason because I wanted to make sure that the whole saber was out. But you can still see the saber body right there. And I've got, but for those of you who didn't know, um, if you all remember that Megtooth sent me a saber stand, right? And I sanded it and I finished painting it this weekend. So for those of you guys who hasn't seen it, here is the outcome. Uh, so I know I sent a few people pictures of it, and I don't know. It's kind of hard to see, like right here, but right on this outer ring, this ring right here is antique gold, right? And antique gold, and then of course I've got the black and the red. That was a kind of a bitch to color, man. It really was a bitch to color in here because I had to take a very small paintbrush and really get in there, and then I had to kind of scrape some of the blackness of the dots that were in there, and then really go back over it with some the red acrylic paint and stuff. And then this is gilded brass color, man. So I think it turned out pretty decent. I mean, not great, I don't think, but it turned out pretty decent. And I didn't want to make sure I wanted to leave scratches and stuff like that on here. Um because to me, if you do it too perfect, I didn't want it to be too perfect, right? Ben says I just wanted to be able to buy one from the site. All the stuff that is pre-built has been sold out for weeks. Oh wow. You know what has been sold out a lot? Well, actually, a lot of stuff has been sold to Custom Saber Shop from their sales and stuff too, right? Um, my gosh, I tried to buy a CFX and they are completely out of CFX right now. I believe if you go to the site, there's a contact page. You can make a request. Anthony Space window about the blade. Yeah, you're right, dude. Oh, thank you, Rich. Thank you, man. Yeah. See Anthony and they'll hook you up with the blades. And Ben says, yeah, I've tried multiple times. Don't get a response. Well, you know what, Ben? I know Anthony. He's been pretty busy with those. But he watches these, so I guarantee you he's gonna get your message, dude. And Eric, I guarantee, man. I guarantee that Anthony will get your message because he watches the show. The show wouldn't happen without him because Anthony, created Civilized Sabers or co-founder of Civilized Sabers. And I tell you, man, missing Heshi a whole lot, dude. But you know, he watches everything that we do on the show and everything. Oh, thanks, Cincy. Thank you, dude. And I tell you, uh, I guarantee he's going to get your message because he may be busy a lot, but since he watches the show, he's going to see what you say, and he may just put your order in that way. And if not, let me know. You can always email me, and I can email him, and we can get your order in for you, dude. and he may not come right away, but at least he'll be aware of your order, and you'll be able to get one. As soon as you can, as soon as he can possibly give it to you. So don't worry. We'll get you taken care of, buddy. Um, One thing is Anthony's great is he'll get you taken care of, dude. And let's see. So who's anybody else here? Let's see. Yeah, well, Ben, don't. I mean, come on. That's the thing. I know you keep waiting, but he'll come through. Anthony will come through, man. He's really good, man. Just gotta give him some time. He's a very busy person, and especially because he's coming out with another comic book on top of Albatross Junction, doing doing these blades, and then um also doing, there's only two of them actually doing these blades and stuff. So so many, so many things that he's doing. It's crazy. It is crazy. And you know, yeah, right. And he's all over the place. He even teaches karate to kids, man, which is amazing on top of his regular job. So he's got his regular job, teaches karate to kids. Then does the um he does the comic book Albatross Junction on top of another comic book that, he and Kevin are coming out with. I'm not sure when that other second comic book is coming out, but yeah, they're working on that. So there's just a ton of things that he's doing right now. Um, so yeah, man. But I'm sure he appreciates your patience and everything. He does, he does. He appreciates it, man, because I commissioned him for a Saber, and it's been over a year, man. And I tell you what, he is so busy. I know I'm gonna get a amazing um super amazing Saber when it's all said and done. So and I told him, hey, no rush, man. When you get to it, you get to it, dude. So it's all good. Anyone seen the new Skull and Hyatt Sabers on Vader's? I have not. I think I have, but I'm not sure. I very rarely go to Vader Sabers, and the only time I really see some stuff is when I'm watching collectors, and I tell you, it's crazy though. He does some wonderful reviews on all that stuff, and and from what I understand, that Vader Sabers is actually a pretty good company, and you get some pretty good service stuff with with your sabers. And this is coming, this is from coming from collectors himself. I mean, because I asked him about, that certain company, and he says, yeah, they're pretty decent. I asked him about CC's and Vader Sabers, and he said Vader Sabers was a lot better. So you get some a little bit more quality with certain things. And you know, John, he really does some outstanding reviews on any of the videos that he shows with the sabers and stuff like that, right? Now, have you guys commissioned? Okay, before you became installer, before you installed your own stuff, who and where have you commissioned or even asked for, services, like from the custom saber shop, right? Most people go through the custom saber shop. Let's see, Art Sabers, Vader Sabers, then Saber Vault, and Genesis Custom Sabers. Ah, okay. Dude, that is cool, man. Wow. So, yeah, you've gone to all those places, bro? All of them? Art Sabers, Vader Sabers, and then Vader's Vault, and just custom. Now, out of all those companies, what have you commissioned just the Sabers themselves, or have you commissioned just different services as far as, what have you commissioned from these different places? Or have you commissioned Oh, those are the top companies right now. Oh, my apologies. My apologies, bro. Rich goes, only did your own stuff. That's what got me into the hobby. I was going to pay someone to convert my Ray Black series, and after taking it through it with him, I realized I could just do it. Yeah, okay. See, now that's the thing. Rich, I only had space to do some custom work. Yeah, Space does really good custom work. But Rich, yeah, man, a lot of the things, I think that's what most people do is that once they have something done, they actually think that they can do it themselves and they do it, right? I have not attempted to drill my own holes and stuff like that yet. I don't have that steady of a hand just quite well. I have a drill press, but it's basically it's not like the one, a really, really great drill press. I've got a Dremel drill press, and it does okay, I guess, but I guess I'm a little intimidated on making sure that if I'm gonna do something like that, I need to practice on something and then get good enough with it because that way I'm not so intimidated on doing it on something and messing that something up, right? Let's see, I think we got a guest coming in. She's in the house. Let's see.
Let's see. Am I at? Sweet.
You
What's up,
in? You ready? What's up? T.anosabers in the house. What up, my friend?
man?
What up? What up? What do you forgive me, dude. What do you like to be called, man? I mean, Adriano or
Yeah, that's perfect, Adriano.
Adrian? Okay, that's cool, man. I got it. Man, thank you for coming on the show, dude.
Of course.
Appreciate it. So, how's your week going for blah, 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 I can't even talk right now. How is your week going by so far, man? I know it's only a Monday, but of course
Yeah,
Mondays everybody says it's a Monday.
yeah. No, today was a Monday. In terms of work, kind of did something physically taxing, so I'm pretty tired.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I mean that's why I kind of do the show a little bit late, man. My time because I go into work at 8 and I get
Mhm.
home around 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
So with 9:45, that gives me a little time to see the family a few minutes, eat a little bit, take a couple of bites, and then get the show ready.
yeah. No, I actually ended up working. This is like a perfect time for me because we put our kid down right now, and so I'm kind of more free.
There you go. There you
Heck yeah.
go. That- That's awesome, man. So we're talking about like services today.
Mhm.
And from what I understand, dude, you do some etching too?
Yeah, I've started to get into it a little bit.
Oh, sweet, man.
I mean,
Sweet.
I wouldn't say that I'm very good at it yet, but I do kind of, simple things to start off with. But I mean, we've seen the work that other people put out there, and it's like, I don't even know how you do that yet. But I've been doing a little bit of stuff here and there.
Well, some of the stuff that looks great, man. And some of your chassis look amazing, dude.
Oh,
Amazing.
yeah. I mean, it's a funny story. Benji from Nerf Herder, he actually was kind enough to help me out one day because I had just gotten my Ender 3 Pro Max, whatever it's called. I can't even remember. But he walked me through setting it up, and so like now I'm actually able to print my own stuff instead of waiting heck along.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah,
Yeah,
eventually I'd like to learn, and right now I'm kind of dabbled into it, not
yeah,
so to speak, but I'm kind of watching videos right now on learning. I probably watched, Jeremy's videos about 2 or 3 times right now, and I
yeah.
still haven't fully grasped much of anything.
Hmm.
I've gone to 360, and I got the circle part, and I always
Hmm.
get messed up when it starts to do the lines.
Right.
And so that's where I get messed up. So I'm good at getting the circle started. I'm good at
Yeah.
getting the tube going. But then
Yeah.
when it starts to do the lines and the cutting, it's like, oh man, I don't know how many times I've already just cut that crap and restarted it like over and over again.
No, for sure. I mean, when I first started using Fusion, it was like learning how to think differently, and like I'm
Mhm.
not very great with computers, but you kind of have to learn like I guess how the program works, and then when you're thinking of it and like designing it, you have to like think through like what you can do through Fusion, and it took me a long time to get it down. It's super
It's
tough.
probably gonna Yeah, it's probably going to take me a while to get it down, but that's okay because the more that I can start practicing it right now, by the time it's time for me to actually get a 3D printer, I'll
Hmm.
actually know what to do with it. So
Right.
that'll be good.
Yeah, I mean,
Now, how
I think Solo Saber's video was the key to me like getting that started, to be honest. He did that little
really?
Fusion
Hmm.
360 video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Benji and Jeremy, man, have such amazing videos
Oh yeah.
on learning a few things too, man. BK says I can't mess with acid etch, and the last time I messed with acid, I got lost in the woods and started barking at the at the moon. Oh, good lord! Hey, BK, man, you better have another drink and make that a howler one.
I gotta read that story. I got lost in the
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh.
Only on the Mundo show, man. Only on the Mundo show can you have this kind of fun, dude.
That would be acid.
Takes a large copa
Oh
margarita. Oh, this is rich, man. This is good, dude.
oh my gosh.
now, now, how
Cheers.
long have you? Cheers, cheers, dude. How
Oh,
long have you been? How long have you been an installer?
uh, I remember thinking about it the other day, and it feels longer than it actually has been. I think I'm almost on 2 years now.
Sam,
Almost.
2 years, really?
Yeah. I started because a couple years ago, I watched the old Sabers videos, and I was like, so that got me into NeoPixel, and I told my brother about it, and he instantly like bought his own, and then I'm sitting over here broke, so I couldn't buy one, but I was like, you know what, like I want to build one for him, so I ended up building one for him. Kind of what got me started. that was an atrocious Saber, but it was fun. It was pretty cool.
Sam, oh my gosh. Okay, what up? 9:35. Damn, I left the. Oh Jesus.
Just for context, the frog I think is my brother-in-law, and Hoji Chen is my wife.
Oh, okay.
they're in the living room right now because they were all hanging out, and then I came to do the call, so they're on here now.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Welcome. I'm glad they're here, man. Like I said, and I tell everybody who comes on, and everybody who's in the chat, man. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you because to me, I'm here for everybody to have a good time. And I'll explain a little bit. Well, you watched you've been on a couple of the shows, in the comments and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's like, we're sitting across the table and having a beer and, talking shit and all that good stuff, man. And
Yeah.
that's the thing I want to portray for the show, so that
Mhm.
when everybody comes, it's like, pull up a chair, man, have a couple beers with us and bullshit with us, because that's what it's all about. That's what makes life go around.
Yeah.
Um, Now back to the services part. Have you where before you started building anything yourself, where
Mhm.
did you get any kind of commission work done from?
Yeah. So the way that I started was with my brother because um, he's not by any means rich, but he, he's got a little bit of money. He loves Star Wars, and so I was like, oh, it'd be perfect to build sabers for him because money's not a big deal to where it's like oh such a a risk, and at the same time I know he would trust me to build something for him. So I built a
Hmm.
couple for him. I built the first one that I talked about for as a Christmas gift was a Luke saber, and then an Obi episode 3. And then I think the next person after that was one of his friends in the same company. Me and my brother actually work in the same company. It's a construction company,
Hmm.
and so I think he was the next one, and he hit me up, and I was like, oh, it's my first person other than my brother. So I had built one for him, and then my brother's best friend, he actually lives out of state. He asked for one, and I was like, ooh, all right, and so I kind of just built up from there. And the craziest one that I've had was where did he live? Uh, that's overseas. Shoot,
Japan,
I can't remember
Chile.
what country he lived in. It was in Europe, and so I built one
Oh,
for
in
him.
Europe,
Yeah,
Ireland.
that was a learning experience because shipping was a hassle, but yeah, so I built one saber for somebody overseas, and I have, obviously the rest are in the States, but I've just now gotten into making stuff for, random people that just hit me up, so that's super exciting because I never thought I'd be there,
Hmm.
that crazy. Because I mean, when I started this, it was like I just wanted to build, I was just like, oh, this it looks so fun, I just want to do it. And I never knew that I would get into actually like building some for people, It's like, wow, I didn't think I'd ever be on a live stream with somebody just talking about sabers. That's freaking awesome.
No, man, that is awesome, and that's one of the things that I enjoy doing, because when Anthony, as first did Saber Talk, right? Heshi and those guys, the three amigos, dude.
Hmm.
When I saw that, and I started getting into all of the discussions and stuff in the background, and
Uh-huh.
I thought to myself, I would love to sit at Anthony's house, right there with those guys and talk sabers with them, and because when my best friend passed away, you know. Um, of brain cancer, and I made that memory saver for him. I was thinking in his honor, I was thinking to myself, God, would it be so great to be continuing to talk about sabers and
Yeah.
the love of Star Wars. And I had the love of Star Wars late, in late in my childhood, um, into my teens, because a lot of things, you know, being a rancher, so to speak, and a rancher kid, you tend to get a
Mhm.
little busy and not a whole lot of time to play. But
Right.
at the same time, later on, I had time to play. So it was like when I got into Star Wars, I got, the master replica is Vader, right?
Aha.
And later on, after my teens, um, and then, right before my early 20s, man, this thing all busted on me. I'm all like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And when I started getting into seeing Anthony and all them, I'm all like, ding! Oh shit. Conversions?
Yeah.
Custom lightsabers? I'm all like, oh shit. Now
Yeah.
I know I could do like that, like
Sound
I can convert this? Like really? People like, dude, and it'd
I
be
know.
better than what it is? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, now maybe I'll commission somebody to do it because at that time I haven't really attempted to do anything, right? It's
Mhm.
like, and then when I see things bought and I'm all like, okay, I started watching Rob's videos and it was like, yeah, okay, you just put these sticky things together and do a little wiring and like, okay, maybe I can
Yeah.
try, you know? So I bought LED strips. I think they were like 30 bucks a piece, right? When I bought them, yeah,
Mhm.
off of Amazon or something like that. Um, and I must have watched Rob's videos probably about 100 times before I even attempted to wire those things together because
Yeah.
I went and bought some uh just boards in general from Wish, right? And from what I understood, actually Wish has some really good boards that you can
Yeah.
just use and I mean you can even actually make your own boards if you know how to do that with those things because some of
Yeah.
them are small enough for that. But
Mhm.
but I used those boards to learn how to solder and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, so when I was designing this saber in terms of my friend's memory saber,
Mhm.
I spent a whole year trying to design from custom saber shop, and they offered all.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, they offer these and they offer that service, but I think what I'll do is, I'll get this and I'll get that, and I'll have them do this, and I'll try to do my own wiring for right now, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I started with. And
Yeah.
Sam's all, not wish. Yes, wish. Hey, you're looking at a redneck that don't have too much money but can make shit work, okay? I'm
Oh
telling
man.
you. I'm telling you. You gotta make with what you have. You gotta do
Yeah.
with what you get. Telling you. These are like new pixel strip blade, not hard, but making neo pixel string blade. Yes, I know,
Um,
B. Oh my god, I know, dude. Now, if anybody has ever seen Space when you make his LED string blades, Jesus, man, it probably took him hours and hours to do it.
yeah.
Um, and you have to be careful because if you screwed that thing up, the whole thing is,
Yeah.
messed up big time. So for right
No.
now, as far as services go, you know, like I said, I'm not very comfortable on making holes in threads.
Oh
So
yeah.
that to me is like I'm not even very nowhere near comfortable doing that just yet. So for right now, yeah, I'll have the custom saber shop do that for me until I can practice on some pieces
Right.
that are junked out. I haven't had a chance to buy any of the scratch and dent stuff. So
Yeah.
every time I try, they sell out pretty damn quick.
I know.
And I'm all like, Jesus, people, I just want a few pieces so I can practice on.
I know, right?
Yeah, Rich, I know that the drill press fixes that. So I'm gonna learn, Rich. I'm gonna learn, man. That's the whole point of this show today too, right? Hole tapping is nerve wracking. You have one
It is.
shot.
It is.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
I've got and I have a tapping set, right? I have a tapping set, and I'm so actually what I did buy was one of those drill and tap drill bits.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see if it actually works. It works okay, right?
Yeah.
But I want to buy a scratch and dent piece or get a scratch and dent piece so that I can practice on and get
Right.
myself comfortable doing that. Rich
Yeah.
says, I got one for $80 on Amazon and it has been a workhorse. Oh, shoot. Yeah. Well, Rich, I have a drill press. It's a Dremel drill press, right? And it's all of the sizes seem to be what actually is needed for in most of the most of the hilts and stuff. So
Right.
it's not too bad. Um, I mean, it's got the pull down handle and everything like that. I would just need to be make sure that I can get a piece and secure it down
Right.
and then do the drill, right? So,
Vice.
um, what kind of do you have one of those big standing up drill presses, or do you have what's your kind of drill press to go to?
So I do have one. I live in an apartment, so I don't have it here with me. But if I do ever need to go use it, I have it somewhere else. But for most stuff, I have my drill, regular DeWalt drill that I have here. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I've used the drill press a little bit, not too
A
much
little
though.
bit.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of the installs?
Oh, you know what? Hmm. I was actually thinking about that the other day because there's phases of the project that like I want to just get through because I want to get to other stuff. But I think
Uh-huh.
one of my favorite parts is probably um, the saber weathering for sure,
Mhm.
because at this point in time, I've learned to do like enough things to where it's kind of like I have tools in a toolbox, and I've got a
Mhm.
saber and I can do X, Y, and Z with it. And it's like tried and true methods of doing those things and not just like, oh, I'm going to see if this works. So that's super fun. But I think maybe my second favorite part um, is probably wiring, actually. Now that like I'm more comfortable with it, and I especially with Profi, I've kind of learned that recently. Like I know how to do certain things, and I'm like
Mhm.
like I said, comfortable with it. It makes it so much funner. It's
So
not so
you,
nervous.
do you think you have like muscle memory now with the wiring?
Muscle memory, like
Basically, it comes automatic when you're just wiring. You already know what you're really going at it, so you can kill it within a few minutes or so.
yeah, like if I happen to do a couple of installs like back to back to where they're like I get to the soldering phase like really close together, I'll have like
Hmm.
almost pads memorized, but I'll still have my wiring diagram out. But at that point,
Right.
it's like, okay, I know kind of where it is. I know what I need to do, resistor here, blah blah blah. So
Mm.
there's a little bit of muscle memory there.
There you go. Look, Chuck says
Yeah.
tapped an M4 with a 1/8, ended up at an angle and still works, but looks awful.
Done that.
Well, Chuck, you're a lot further than I am, dude. That's for sure. And Rich says the favorite part is chassis, man. That's cool, man. See, I have not really had a chance to experience everything, so I can't say what my favorite part is. But man, I tell you, Rich does some amazing chassis as well. Like I said, I showed you what this is Rich's work right here. So
Oh
you
shoot.
know, man, and he's got he provided me also with he did a great job on the do, 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 do. The crystal chamber. So let me pop that in there real quick so you can see that
Yeah,
crystal
that's
chamber that he did. So he did
nice.
he did a really dope chassis, man. For my
Cool.
father's memory saber.
Oh,
And so I can't thank him enough for that as well, because like I said, I'm really loving that
that's
chassis right now.
good.
um, so
Uh,
how many sabers have you done with the etching?
let's see. There's one. The other Calcestis. There's that Corin horn. I know at least three. And then
Three.
I had my very first saber forge that I had, and that's actually my test saber that I've practiced etching with. So I've got like random
Hmm.
etching all throughout. I've got like a failed Zelda one. I've got a Bleach one that also failed. I've got the Kanan like Loth Wolf, and that one came out
Hmm.
phenomenal. And then I've got some
Wow.
Slayer lettering from the anime. No, there's just like it's a smorgasbord.
Now, is it a real difficult
But
process?
I
Well,
think
actually,
3.
I've three. Now, I've watched Cal's. Is did you start etching after watching Cal's video on etching, or did you follow
I watched
what his
his,
process
and
was?
I watched his and Solo Sabers, and I followed Solo Sabers a little more closely. But it's the same
Mm,
process, pretty much.
same process, pretty
So yeah,
much.
yeah.
Hmm.
I think I followed Soul Sabers because it was more like really step by step and like kind of more raw of like this is literally what it looks like, you know. So
Hmm.
a little easier to follow, I guess.
BK, oh my God, it's like Kim Jong.
I started to read that one, but I didn't finish.
Cincy. Oh my God, the dark bubble. This small poop. Oh my God, he poops horns. Damn it.
Oh,
Dude, I'm gonna be crying in a minute, man. I'm laughing so damn hard.
I know the
Uh,
dark side doesn't hold it.
eh, what about Ezra's new saber? I
Oh,
I like that one.
so
Ezra's new saber.
yeah,
I,
I
I I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Tomorrow's a new episode, right? It's on Tuesday night. Yeah, night.
first,
Um,
were you talking for Ahsoka, the new episode?
yeah.
Last Tuesday was the last one.
Last
Like the
Tuesday
final
was the
one.
last one. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
and it was pretty awesome. So you haven't watched it yet? Episode 8.
So the last one was when, okay, where I'm at in the episodes, and I probably didn't pay attention to if it was the last one or not, but whereas Ezra actually made it home
Yeah.
and got to see Sabine. I mean,
Oh, like
not
you mean Hera?
Sabine, Hera. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that'd be that's the last episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was the finale for the season.
Yeah.
Jesus, Jesus, I tell you, I'm like all over the place, dude.
Yeah. That's. I mean,
And here
that's so.
well, we know there's going to be a season two for sure.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
hopefully, I'm hoping that Disney will do an excellent job and keep up the pace that it's going at this moment in time.
Yeah.
Because I think that if they keep up what's going on now and they keep up that pace,
Hmm.
we should have a good season two, at least a decent season two.
Yeah. I mean, if they bump up Dave Filoni's pay and keep him around, the
Yeah,
man, the myth, the legend.
that's the thing. That's the thing. I think Filoni is the key.
Oh yeah.
He's key. He's key, man. And because he's following, George's footsteps in what Star Wars was.
Yeah.
Kathleen, she thinks what George might want
Yeah.
with mostly what she wants.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say.
Mostly what she wants, not what George wants. Mostly what she wants.
Yeah.
And it suffers, and she doesn't listen to the fans, man. Whereas
Nope.
Filoni, he's listening to all the fans, and that's why it's getting good, because he's listening to what people are saying. Hey, they've done their homework.
Yeah.
They've done what George wanted to do. So I mean, kudos to them, man.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, whenever like on my YouTube feed, I get a lot of different shorts of like interview snippets and everything. It's like every
mm,
time a Filoni one comes up, I watch it because his words are like gold. I'm just like, yes. Oh man. I love everything that guy says.
right?
Yeah.
They had all 8 episodes. PK's Ahsoka is done, dude. Ahsoka is done. Yep.
Way to tell Anakin.
Ezra. They should call it Ezra now instead of Ahsoka.
I mean, for the first half, it was like Sabine, and then a little bit of Ahsoka, and then now it's Ezra. So 3 different
Yeah.
titles this season. Not that I'm complaining. That's not a complaint.
They should have just called it, the Jedi Trio, man. That's all they
Yeah.
should have said. Jedi
Or
Trio, so you cover everything.
yeah, or just Rebels, 2.0.
Rebels 2.0. There you go.
George visited with Ahsoka. And yeah,
Rookie
for real.
mistake.
How the last comment about how George would like visit the set. That's how you know.
Yeah.
How you know.
Uh,
Yeah, love John
so
Favreau.
yeah, Favreau is awesome. Favreau is awesome.
Yeah.
On let's get back to services and terms
Right.
of like when you were starting out. Also, like, did you have some of the custom saber shop do some of your stuff, or have you done hills from the custom saber shop?
So the first Luke V2 that I did, it was
Hmm.
actually put together with MHS parts. I didn't have them do anything. I just ordered all the individual pieces and pieced it together, and
Hmm.
weathering and painting and everything. So that was the first saber that I really did weathering on, actually. And that's kind of where my journey with that started.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was that was a fun project. That was I actually used the Trooper Trent stencils,
Hmm.
and it's a pain in the butt, but worth it. It's
You know, from what I understand, most good builds are pain in the ass builds.
yeah, most of the time. Most
So
of the
here's
time.
my father's memory saber, right?
Oh yeah.
Let's see. And believe it or not, this
Oh
well, this is all MHMS parts, right?
yeah.
And this part right here is two emitters put together.
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
From what I've seen in almost every build, I have not ever seen anybody do that before,
Yeah. How did you
right?
do that?
Well, actually, because I got a hold of Josh, and I'm hoping that one of these days that Josh will watch the show, because I really want to get Josh on
Yeah.
from TCSS. Really, I would love to have him on the show because I haven't emailed him yet, but um, eventually I want to email him and see if I can get him on the show because I want to get their perspective on certain things,
Right.
within the show as well. So I think it'd be great. But from what I understand, what he did is he at first he said he didn't think it could be done, and then after a while he got back with me like a day later, and he says, "Yeah, man, we can do it. We can take it out. We can do it, man. You still
Oh
want it?" I'm
wow.
all like, "Hell yeah!" I'm all like, "Hell yeah!" And to this day, and believe it or not, I've got like 4 or 5 different designs with two emitters together, man. They look kind of wicked
Huh.
cool.
Yeah.
And eventually, I'm gonna get them to do those. So
Yeah.
future builds, you'll get to see other sabers that I'm gonna do that will have two emitters together, right?
That's cool.
And I'm pretty sure that people watching this now, they're probably gonna want to do the same thing. But
Yeah.
let me
Right.
tell you, only a few from all the designs that I looked at that they had on their website, very few actually look pretty decent to do. Now,
Mm-hmm.
whether they're doable or not, that's a different story. But if they
Right.
can do this, I'm sure they can do a couple more, right?
Right.
So, um, but yeah, man, I found it super interesting, and I went through thousands and thousands of Saber picks to see
Right.
if anybody actually pulled that off before I even did it.
Wow.
And to my astounding, you know, I I couldn't believe it. I was ecstatic that I was actually the first one to do that.
Yeah, that's cool. I wouldn't have thought
So and it works. It works.
it did.
Yeah.
His saber looks cool.
So and it was weird because I actually did it on their where you build the saber in the 3D and all that stuff. The saber builder.
Hmm.
So that was where I brought it together and I did that and it looked cool and when I did it in the 3D and did it around and around and looked at it at all angles and I'm looking at it, does this really work? Is it really look like this?
Hmm.
And I probably spent a good hour and a half just looking at it, just going round and round, spinning it around.
Yeah.
And finally, it was like, dude, that is it, man. That
Uh,
is it. So, thanks for, TCSS having that service available where you can look and actually design your hilt.
yeah.
And so, and a lot of people can, design hilts many different ways.
Hmm.
And there's a plethora of things out there that you can utilize to do the same, to get your same thing. But there's so many hilts out there that are the same as well, right? All
Yeah.
your Vaders, all your Lukes, and each one is a variant of each different movie and show and everything like that. It's like so many. It's like, my God,
Yeah.
you're changing sabers like you're changing underwear.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. It's funny because after I watched episode 8 of Ahsoka, I like hopped straight onto the TCSS website and was looking at all the MHS parts, and I was like, could I build an Ezra saber right now? I just wanted it so bad. I was like, do they have the emitter? I was like, and I was like, I know Saber Forge has it, so I was kind of looking through that, but I was like, you know what? It's not worth it. I need to just wait.
TCSS has really gotten close to the Canaan almost.
Oh, really?
Almost. Yeah, if you look at some of their stuff,
Yeah.
you can get close. You won't get that close, but you'll get somewhat close to the Canaan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. I'll have to take a look at that.
And Chuck can't stand Kathleen. Love John Farber. Yeah, I'm like kind of like behind on all these comments here.
You gotta.
Kathleen is more like ass.
Oh my god.
Oh, fuck.
Agreed.
It became the Cuban sandwich. Hot damn. Wait, an in and out saber. Ooh, an in and out saber. Damn, you be flipping burgers with that bastard.
That's a NeoPixel spatula
Right?
style.
So, do you have any theme sabers in the works, or like you have an idea what you want to do?
Themed sabers, like a saber that's like themed after something like out of universe.
Yeah, it doesn't have to
Uh,
be in universe.
huh. Well, so I have a Cal Kestis that has like it's Cal Kestis theme, but it has an etch on it that obviously isn't there on the actual hilt. But that's probably the only thing I have right now. That I had another Cal Kestis that I did that I made Demon Slayer themed, but that's already overseas. But
Hmm.
I mean, this is the etch that I did on this one. I don't know if you'll be able to see that kind of well.
Oh wow, look at that. Yeah,
Same thing on both sides, and this is actually for I don't know if you know the Collector's Outpost.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Matter of fact,
this is for him. So it's got Trust in the Force on this side, Lighting isn't that great, but
Hmm.
the lettering up here, and then this side says the collector's
Yeah, I can
info.
see it. Wow, that's great. Oh,
So
that's gonna be awesome when he shows that, dude. Yeah, John is such an amazing
yeah.
person. And the way, because I talked to him a bit, outside the show and stuff. Uh, Email him
Yeah.
every now and then, and so he gives me preview to a few things here and there, which is pretty
Hmm.
awesome, man. But he's such a great creator, and even now
Hmm.
he's working on an album right now, I think also.
Oh,
So
no
it's like
way.
he's not, yeah. So not only does he do the Saber stuff, but he's a musician and he does
Yeah.
like productions and stuff like that too. So he's pretty wicked crazy busy, but dude,
Yeah.
some amazing stuff that he does
I know.
in
I
all
got
of
to
his
talk to him
reviews.
kind of recently too, and
Yep,
he told me a little bit of his like music past, and I was like, dude, that's crazy. That's so cool.
dude, have you heard him?
Yes, I
Have
actually
you?
looked up some of his songs and stuff, and I was like, dude, this is actually music that I like.
Right, right. He's got a good voice, dude. He's got a good voice, dude.
He told me that he did the song for one of the old like Punisher movies, and I was like, dude, this is my jam. So I've listened to that one a couple times.
BK's gonna have to do a Saber thing for him now. A Saber font with his song on it.
Ah, that'd be sick. Oh,
Let's see.
that would be so funny.
Richard at the same the MH Luke is almost perfect. Oh, Rich says the MHS Luke is almost perfect. I might have to attempt that, Rich. I might have to attempt that, dude. Chet, what up, Chet? How you doing, my friend? Welcome, welcome. Chet, you're late, BK says. Chet is never late. Chet's never late. He always brings it, man. Let's see what we got. Let's see.
No,
He's saying hi to everybody.
let him sweat a little.
Kiss out by your dad. Don't let him off the hook so fast, Jim. Let him sweat a little first. Poor Jim. Jim's getting murdered over here today, man. But
Yep.
Jim's swinging away. Jim is swinging away, man. Shit, take two shots for being late. Dude, I'm already a bottle ahead, guys.
Uh, yes, two
Yeah,
shots.
yeah, because man, normally I'd be drinking a whole lot, but tonight you just little a shot here and there, but not a whole lot. What's your favorite go-to drink, dude?
I mean, I don't drink a whole lot of alcohol, but there's some beers that I
Oh, when you
like.
do.
There's some beers that I like. I actually just learned how to make a green tea shot, and I kind of like it because it's kind of like candy.
Oh, awesome. Green tea
So
shot, huh?
yeah, it's pretty good. It's got whiskey, peach schnapps, and the sweet and sour bitters, and whatever lemon lime soda. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
super. Yeah,
Sweet.
it's fun. I like making it for people because a lot of people will like they're like green tea shot. I'm like, here, hold on.
Jack is good, Chet. Jack is good. Can't complain about Jack, dude.
A little BRP. That's
Ooh, and then Jim Beam. Oh my God, don't even get me started on that damn thing. Jesus. I went I went overboard with Jim Beam one time, man. I went Here's a funny story because one of my times I was like drink so heavily, it was crazy. I went back and forth between a friend's apartment and the bowling alley. So at the bowling alley, we were all drinking pitchers of beer. Then I'd go to his apartment, go hang out over there for a few, probably about an hour or so, take two or three shots of Jim Beam, go back to the bowling alley, have another couple of pitchers, I
Oh man.
probably went back and forth about 5 or 6 times. And
Oh
finally, the last time I went back to my friend's apartment, I chugged a gal. I was chugging out of the gallon jug of Jim Beam, and you could
oh
see bubbles from what my friends were telling me that they were seeing bubbles going goom 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 goom.
oh
I was just basically bringing it down like water, dude.
yeah.
And that was the last I remember.
Oh.
All I remember that I was drunk for 3 days straight, man. I
Shoot.
could not get up and I could not move for 3 days, and I was hugging that porcelain god like
Oh
there was
yeah.
no tomorrow. Like there was no tomorrow.
Yeah.
That was
Shoot.
bad though. Haven't done anything like that since, but yeah, I tell you,
Yeah. I don't get that
this
crazy.
old man. Yeah, this old man can't even handle a 6 pack anymore.
That's
A
funny.
6 packs will last me a couple of days, you know.
Yeah.
Not like I used to. Man, back in my early teens, dude, I could kill an 18 pack plus a bottle and not even worry about it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Are you a Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
fan?
Oh, have you ever had? Oh, you probably never. Yeah, like you said, you've never had this before. But if you ever get the courage to try Everdam, and
Everdam.
Everdam, and I tell you, it's interesting. It's 100% hot dam
Hmm.
mixed with Everclear. Okay, and what you do is you take 2 little pints, one of hot dam, 100%, one of Everclear. Yeah, I know, Jim. I know. You take a gallon jug, you pour the two in, and you shake it up, and you put
Hmm.
it in the freezer for a little bit. Now you can't leave it in there too long because you don't want it to freeze up, but you want it chilled. Okay.
Hmm.
Now what you want to do is after Jim says he hates cinnamon. uh, so what you want to do is you want to take a small shot, right, of it cold, and then you want to chase it. You want to chase a little bit of it with Dr. Pepper, man, because it'll go down very smooth, but then it'll
Hmm.
burn your ass in a minute, you know. And all it takes is 3 shots, and you're gone, dude. Three
Yeah.
shots, and you're gone. If you
Wow.
can't handle your liquor, it's probably gonna take you about a shot and a half.
Sheesh.
Jägermeister, what? Jägermeister and cherry bombs.
You're making me thirsty.
Chicos Monday chasing with Diet Coke. BK. Oh.
Got my water.
Yeah.
Oh man. No.
Yeah, I tell you. That's why I love doing this show, man. I love doing this show because we can have lots of fun on this show, and we're
Yeah.
still doing. It sounds terrible, Rich, but I tell you what, man, it's pretty decent. It's smooth going down, but it'll kick you in the ass later, dude. That's why we call it Everdam because it's so smooth. And if you do like cinnamon, I tell you, it's really good for a really cold night, dude.
Mm.
That shit'll, oh, man, you'll get that body heat quick.
Yeah.
Titan says if you could magically turn a saber into a real lightsaber, which one would it be?
Ooh.
Ooh, I
Hmm.
don't know, man. Now, if you're going for practicality, hmm, practicality versus just the saber itself, hmm, I don't know, man. I would say, I would say Ezra's was pretty practical, dude. But then
Hmm.
again, um, I would have to say even more practicality in an actual combat fight. Kylo Ren's would probably be do well because He's got them
Mhm.
cross guards, you know,
Yeah.
and the cross guard would help keep your hand from getting chopped off if you
Yeah.
don't know how to fight well.
Yeah. I was
So,
actually of like the probably Cal Kestis is actually. I haven't even played the games yet, which is terrible. But I
don't
love
feel
the
bad. I haven't either.
yeah. I mean the ignition on that saber is like one of my absolute favorites because it has like the little bit of that punch, and I was just like, man, if I could
Hmm.
just actually hold that and feel that, that'd be sick.
Yeah, man. I tell you, and it's so amazing though that the creativity it takes to make these sabers and the ingenuity and creativity that goes into the design of the sabers these days too, right? I
Yeah.
mean, we've come a long way. We've come a long way from an ultra sabers type,
Yeah.
saber, to oh my gosh, I mean, the Steely Shin, Cal Kestis. I mean, my God, there's so many to talk about, and we could talk about this for hours and hours on end, right? And believe me, it would never get boring because in
No.
between then, who knows? We'd be talking about all different things as well.
Yep.
um, Now, like I was saying, yeah, Jim Dooku's, I would say is pretty decent in practicality, man, because of the curved hilt. I mean, if you're parrying and stuff like that, I think the angle of it is really well thought about.
Hmm.
In terms of practicality in a fight, because when you have such a straight hilt and a straight blade, like I said, if you're not that great in your fightings, um, you want to compensate for some, like, your parries. So if you can't parry too well, you want to compensate, that curved hilt will kind of, you
Leverage.
know come in there and do that kind of stuff, right? So
Yeah.
it's, when you're looking at it from that standpoint. But then again, if you're looking at a standpoint, Dooku's never going to be, flipping and doing all this kind of stuff with his hilt.
Yeah.
He's going in for the sense of, I'm going to kick your ass, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Practicality. Rich says, "Oh, the smaller one, hander hilts are better. Since you can have a tiny one that fits into my pocket, so I can use it as a pocket knife."
You know
Oh
which one
my
it worked?
God.
That I have it boxed up right now, but the Grogu saber from
I
Shadowfall.
was just gonna say,
Pocket.
I
Oh,
like that little hilt though, man.
it's
That looks so cool, dude.
yeah.
Now,
It's like
was it a bitch to warrior though?
I used the I can't remember who made the chassis, but I didn't design a chassis. I printed one off of Shapeways, and it was pretty
Uh-huh.
easy. It was pretty,
Really?
yeah,
I would think that having something that well, but then again, the boards, right? But having the chassis that small might make it harder to try to get in there.
well, so the chassis that I printed, it was very like open and like wires just they went to a specific place and it was good, but it was basic. But if you do the crystal chamber version, that could be
Hmm.
to wire up. I could see that,
Mm,
but the basic one is not bad at all.
not bad at all, huh? But
Yeah,
I like that though. Man, and eventually I'd like to acquire, the Grogu and the Yoda together, man. I
yeah,
think that would be kind of pretty cool to have.
yeah,
Um, but right now, I'm in the market for doing um the sabers that I want to do for myself at this point in time, right? I know there's so many of Luke's out there and Vaders and everything. They're all a little bit different, but a lot the same as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the things that I'd like to do is something out of the box, but cater to my what I'm thinking that I think is kind of cool. It may not be, um, it may not be to everybody's liking, so to speak. You know what I mean? But it is to mine. Like one of the themes that I was talking about the last show, if you remember, was the Deer Slayer. I don't know if
Yep.
you remember,
Yeah.
right? I was talking about that one. So
Yeah.
I'm still trying to go online and find some deer hide that's already been cleaned and so forth
Yeah.
that I can get home, cut up, and make sure. And I'm thinking I may get a hilt from TCSS so that I can get the I've got some deer horns already,
Right.
and there's some ones that are single, but I got to figure out how I'm gonna drill and make the triple crown with the
Right.
horns that are gonna go like this, right? So it'll
Yeah.
it'll surround the emitter
Yeah.
underneath and then kind of not quite cover the emitter,
Yeah.
but just like a little bit below the emitter.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's like I said, it's still going 100 miles an hour in my brain, but we'll see how
Yeah.
it turns out.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it'll turn out pretty cool. At this point in time, I'm not even sure what board I even want it to have. But and
Yeah.
then again, I'm going to see if somebody would be willing to print out also some, the platelets on Godzilla's back, his spikes in
Oh
the
yeah.
back. I want to see if I can get those with a Godzilla head because I want to do a Godzilla themed saber, right?
Oh, that
And
would be cool.
I had been looking up some material with green alligator, and see if that will kind of work together.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Some cool ideas.
that's another one I'm going to try to accomplish one of these years.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying anytime soon because it's going to take some money for that one, but
Yeah. Shoot.
bonuses. I can barely afford one right now, man. I have to save up just to get a hilt done.
Yeah. For real. Oh.
This broke redneck right here, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, dude, it's just been, but it's a lot of fun, man. And when you work on these sabers, I don't know if you feel like I do, but at the same time, when you're doing wiring, it seems like the whole world disappears, right? It's just like there is no outside, there's no inside, and you can get lost for hours just working on these wires and what you're doing and thinking about where you're at in terms of your build and all of this good stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
Jim says, I think there's a place in Montana that ships real deerskin leather. Ooh, in
Oh,
Montana, Jim, really? Hmm,
there you
I'm gonna have
go.
to check into that.
Yeah.
And then this is back in the day, Shamim did an alien saber from Saber Forge Bay. Yes, I remember that. He did a really awesome job too.
I've not seen that.
Shamim, man, I miss his videos, dude. I really do. He did some killer theme type hilts,
Yeah.
and he was really good at it too.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go back and look all that up because I've heard the name pop up a couple times, but I don't think I've really ever seen his stuff. So.
Well, Shamim actually has his there's no longer videos available. He took them all down. You
Uh,
might catch one or two, but right now I think he's in the process or he's already made the run, but he did a Rancor 2 type saber run.
oh yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about.
hmm
Is it
So
the
I
claw?
don't know how many he did, but yeah, he was in the uh Sam goes, I'm a reptilian. Chunks. Where's Shamim? Haven't heard from him in a while. Chuck, yeah, man. I mean, he really doesn't do a whole lot of Saber stuff anymore. I mean, he pops up every now and then. But the
Mm.
last time that we heard about Shamim was when he was doing the Rancor themed Saber, and he only did a small run. He didn't do a whole lot of them, I don't think. Um, but yeah, man. I mean, if he doesn't run, you gotta get a hold of them quick because they're gonna sell like hotcakes. I mean, you're
Yeah,
looking at minutes before they sell out. I mean,
yeah.
everybody wants his stuff, dude. Um, and Cal, man, Cal's like right up there with him too, man. Cal's knocked out some amazing hilts. I'm really digging what the Fortis looks like, dude.
Oh
The
yeah.
Fortis, Jesus, man.
I like the
Oh,
actually I don't know how people pronounce it, but the Regis or whatever, the like the
oh,
you
the
know
Regis, yeah, the Regis.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
But as soon as he put out like concepts and whatever of the Fortis, I was like, dude, the knurling pattern and everything going on with that, I was like, that is dope.
Sick, yeah, it is
Yeah,
sick, dude. I mean, it works well. It really
yeah,
works well,
it
and
does.
and that's what I say. I mean, because how many hours does it take for a concept to come to life, right?
Right.
I mean, is it
Hours.
months? Is it hours? Is it days? I mean,
Hmm.
depending on how well you're constructing it as well.
Right. Yeah.
So that makes everything. I mean, it makes everything worthwhile if something really works and clicks together, and especially with the design and the and the hilt.
Hmm.
Like I've seen some amazing chassis go for those too. I mean, not only let's see, Albert has made quite a few good looking chassis. Man, I mean, there's so many chassis out there. It's just unbelievable, and each one that I see has its own soul, its own light, its own oomph to everything, man. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Let's see, Chuck.
I was gonna say I like seeing like how you different installers have their own like aesthetic or design, right? And I remember I was
Hmm.
scrolling through Facebook and I saw a Saber and somebody, random person was posting the picture of it, but I was like, oh, that's a Tier 5 orbital, chassis. You just know, and it's like that's cool. I like that.
That is and that's what's I think is pretty awesome because if you can look at a chassis and you know exactly whose it is,
Hmm.
that's what sets them apart, right? But at the same time, it's like, dude, that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing that you can see some subtle differences and
Hmm.
a lot of the same similarities, but it is those really big differences that set things apart. And as someone who creates those things, it I can kind of feel the sense of pride that it takes in making those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though I haven't accomplished it yet myself,
Hmm.
but I understand what that accomplishment means to you
Right.
guys. And especially when you're installing too, getting and finishing an install, passing it on to its owner is kind of like bittersweet, right? I mean, because you're like, dude, this is so badass. I did this. It feels good. I'm like, oh man, but it's not mine.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Like this is my baby. Oh wait, it's your baby.
Yeah.
It's your baby.
Yeah. I paid for it.
But right, but yeah, at the same time, but it's like, man, you know what? I did a great job. You got a good product. I stand by my product, and I know you're gonna be happy with it, right?
Yeah.
So that's what's really important, and I like to um, give so much appreciation to the installers because when I first started my journey on becoming an installer. right? For myself right now, like I said, later on, I hope to be a full-fledged installer later.
Yeah.
But when I started this journey, I never understood, and I have to go back and talk about this because people who are going to watch this later and people who are just now learning about, the newbies that are coming around right now, people who are
Hmm.
just now getting started into the hobby and don't know where to go, know where to do this, do that, and so forth. Um, but I was one of those people that, okay, why do I need to pay so much for this?
Hmm.
I mean, why is this $900? Why is this $1,200? What makes it that it's this much money? And
Yeah.
I myself could not understand that until I started building, my friend's memory hill. I
Yeah.
never understood. And then when I started ordering parts, I was basically running at full speed before I was learning to crawl.
Yeah.
So I had, when I fell really hard and I
Mm.
picked myself up, but I went, oh shit, I guess I better take one step at a time
Yeah.
and then work my way up to running, you know?
Yeah.
And and I got the memory hilt done, but at the same time I learned a valuable lesson in terms of, okay, this is this much. This part, okay, let's take the LED strips, right?
Yeah.
That if you order just plain Jane LED strips from Amazon, you start out, okay, 30 bucks. That's 30 bucks right there just alone for the strips. That's not including nothing else,
Yeah.
right? So then now you got the strips, but you don't have anything else. So now you got to get the hilt. The hilt could cost you anywhere depending on where you go.
Yeah.
Let's say we do. Let's say we'll go with the Ultra Saber just for
Yeah.
fuck's sake. All right. And at the time when I started out, they were what, 65, 60 something bucks, right?
Yeah.
At that time, 60 bucks. They were manageable.
Yeah.
Like now, you probably pay what, 100 and something now.
Hmm.
So at that time, so that's 60 bucks plus 30 bucks. That's already $90 right there, and you hadn't even gotten close to getting the guts.
Yeah.
You got an empty saber and you got an LED strip, and you still ain't even gotten close to being able to put this thing together. So now, okay, what do you do now? Well, now you got to get the electronics part of it,
Yeah.
right? You got to buy wires, you got to buy your tools if you don't have any tools to work with.
Lots of tools.
So you're looking at that cost, and each cost, starts adding up.
Yep.
Then again, now you got, your PCBs, you got this, you got that, and it
Yep.
just, by the time you know it, it's already three to $400 of stuff, and you haven't even got it even working yet.
Yep.
You haven't even got it installed yet.
Yeah.
So the time that it takes for you to install, if you're someone like me who was just starting out, and you're watching videos left and right, you attempt to solder some wires, you're not good enough yet, but you're get it takes you a
Yep.
while to learn how to solder. But if you learn how to solder and it takes you what, maybe a couple of hours to learn, and you got, okay, a couple of hours to solder your wires together to the LED strip, you still don't know what kind of battery you need, this and that, and then you got to buy your battery. Uh, So
Yeah.
now you're up in the 500 range already. You're
Yep.
up in the 500 range. When it's all said and done, and you actually get this thing, working, right? You get this
Ah,
thing working, then, only then, you add up all of that cost, not including the time it takes to do all that.
yep.
This is just the cost of parts. You're looking at a good $400 or $500 just for parts alone. And then the time that it takes to put all of this together, which is probably another couple of hours, if not more, depending on how difficult the build is, so to speak, right? you're looking at a good $700 already, 800,
Yep.
900.
Yep.
Now, if it's a real difficult, and you got to include the chassis for it, instead of building one
Yep.
from custom Saber shop like this,
Yep.
right? So instead of
Shoot.
doing something like this, as opposed to something like this, it's a
Mm-hmm.
big cost difference.
Yep.
So, and people don't tend to think about things like that. Like, well, now for those newbies that are watching this and will watch it in the future later, you can kind of understand. And also, if you want more in depth of how things are, you can watch Benji's videos, Nerf Herder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Benji Nerf Herder has done an excellent job on all of the cost, what it takes to become an installer, what it takes to build these sabers on top of your fonts, because your fonts are another added, you know,
Yep.
to your saber, right? You don't just get a font, into your saber. If you buy a board that's got preloaded fonts, that's all
Yep.
you get. But if you want something custom and different things, you go to to these font makers like BK, KSith and OneSith. You find all these different fonts and you buy these fonts and you put them on a saber. That's an added cost on top of that.
Yep.
So you got to understand, and with these installers also, and I want to make sure that people really, really, really understand the newbies,
Mm-hmm.
is that these installers, they have regular jobs on top of this. Now there's some installers that do this 24/7,
Yep.
but at the same time, this is a hobby for them, but it's a labor of love. And you can't rush good work as well. They've got families, they got a regular job, they make the time to do these.
Yep.
And if they tell you, hey, it might be ready at this time, but be patient because, like I said, with their families, with their regular jobs and everything, they may have 30 minutes, 40 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes to work on something and get back to doing something with the family and everything else. It's not something that you can rush if you want a good quality product. Now, if you want something cheesy and everything else for $100, go find one of those Chinese companies that'll sell you one, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it'll break within a week or so, and you'll be
Yeah.
out $100, quick and
Yep.
easy.
And then you'll be calling an installer.
Then you spend more money to call a real installer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
I find
sure.
it comical though that you got all these wannabes that sell this crap, and you got people who are trying to do the homework but go, yeah, I only have this much to spend. Well, guess what, dude? If you got that much to spend, if you got $100 to spend, save the damn thing. Save it.
Yeah.
You put it away. You save another $100. You put it away. Don't touch the money till you get every bit of money ready to buy. So when you
Yeah.
buy it, it's all in one shot, dude.
Yeah.
Now, if some installers are gracious enough to do a payment plan for you, which most aren't willing to do that because you know they need that money at that point in time, and
Mhm.
they'll get you that product, but the product will be badass, right?
Yeah.
And most of them will work with you. So
Yeah.
um, just be patient, man. I commissioned space, and it's been a year and some months, right? But
Hmm.
I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
Not because he's my friend, but how busy he really is.
Yep.
You know, and people have to understand that y'all just have lives on top of the hobby. A
Yep.
hobby is not, the hobby is not, your life. The hobby's the hobby, and you got family and responsibilities before the hobby.
Yep.
So,
Most of the time, it's like you work your normal job throughout the day, and you're always working at night. You know, and it's
mm,
like, kid goes down at 8, and I've also have my wife who you have to balance spending time with your child, your wife, and then doing this. This is last, and
Yeah.
it's um, I mean, that's been a learning curve to this too, for me to, not only have my own space here, which my wife got me my desk, and she's been um, super awesome to support me in all of this. She encourages me, pushes me. She's helped me get the things that I have, the tools and whatever, and we have our times, and it's like we're running a small business, but at the same time, it's like it's in its place in the pecking order in terms of our responsibilities. So there's
Yeah.
been a couple neighbors where I'm like, dude, you got to be patient, and it sucks because I mean I've got a couple here and it makes me sweat thinking about it because it's like I want to get it out of here, but it happens when it happens.
Yeah. And like I said, if people are really in that much of a hurry for something, you can't just spring things up on these builders. I mean, even
Yeah,
though they may be good enough to pull it out of their ass within a week or two,
yeah,
you know, um, that's an amazing feat by all
yeah,
means. I mean, that kudos to people who can get so many done in a week.
hmm, yeah,
But for the people that are asking, hey, I need this for this con or whatever in this short amount
right,
of time, it's like, dude, I'm sorry, it's not gonna get done.
yeah,
You know, give the guy, and also there has to be two-way communication as well. You can't just commission somebody and say, here, I need it by this time, and do
do
it,
it.
and that's it. Have a little decency, have some communication, what you need, what's expected, what's not, what you can do, what you can't do,
Yeah,
and make sure that everything's on the up and up, because then when things kind of go wonky, there's some animosity between both parties. And you don't want that, man. You want to have a good, clean, good time and a good experience. We want most people to have a really good experience with these sabers. And
yeah,
Cal has always put that at the top of the list of having the best experience with the Sabres.
yeah.
Um, right, Jim? Let's see. We need to sleep train her, and we're lucky if she goes to bed at 10 p.m. Jim.
Uh,
Uh,
I feel that.
yeah, I know. I hear you. I hear you, man. I've had three girls, man. Right now, my girls are teenagers, and two of them are almost out of high school. I've got one in college right now, so I've been there and done that, and I know
Yep,
how important things are. So with kids, and that's another thing. If these installers have kids, guess what? Kids are priority.
yeah,
I'm sorry, but bottom line, kids are priority.
yeah,
That's a give it, dude. And so if you're gonna, like I said, if you're gonna order a commission, make sure you give them proper enough time
yeah,
so that and have good communication of what your intentions, what you're wanting, what they're able to give you, what they can't give you, and make your decisions on those. And
yeah,
in that way, it's fair for everybody. You know what you're expecting, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get a good quality product, if you do these things. And make sure that and I know I'm repeating myself a whole lot, but the reason why I repeat myself a lot is because a lot of people don't get it up here the first time.
mm,
They're like in here and out here. And
yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but you have to, I mean, these people just have to understand. And if you do your homework as well before you get to a hold of an installer, you may have a favorite installer, you may go with somebody different.
yeah,
Just know that they may be both the same type of in terms of time management. You don't know what their
mm,
situation is. You don't know what they don't know what your situation is either. But
yeah,
given good time frames, yeah, time frames is a good way to see where you're at with things and if it's possible to get it to you at that time.
yeah,
Things happen. Like I said, maybe a week or two, maybe that they're able to give it to you.
mm,
Maybe sooner. It just depends on their time frame.
yep,
But and it's a price that you pay when you pay an installer for their services, right? And if you if you have a problem with that, then learn to do it yourself.
Yeah. Right.
Learn to do it yourself. I mean,
Try
there's
it.
no shame in trying to do it. Yeah, try it. There's no shame in that, you know. And you're not going to hurt anybody's feelings by trying it.
Yeah.
But just know that if you do, you have help out there.
Yep.
You know,
For sure.
like T right here. Um, I myself, have had tremendous amount of help, from Heshi and Anthony and Benji, all of these guys that I'm naming, and I mean, Heshi, man, since he passed, dude, it's like, uh, our hearts are still broken on his death. But man, I tell you, because he was the graphics dude, right?
Mm,
He was the graphics of Civilized Sabers, man.
yeah.
Um, but I tell you, before he passed, man, there was not one question that I had asked that he never got back with me on. Every
Yeah.
question that I asked, whether it would be an email, whether it be a text, whether it be a phone call, he answered every single one of them. And these
Yeah.
guys are willing to go out of their way and answer your questions if need be. If they got time. Now, if they're in the middle of something, give them a little bit of time, and they'll get back with you. Uh, but at the same time, man, I tell you, there is so much help out there, right? JD, he's probably, well, I think right now he's probably on a build or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jedi arms dealer. I know he's like he's always doing something, man. And some of the stuff that he does is just, oh God, just gorgeous. Just
Yeah.
have have you seen his videos on his crystal chambers?
I don't think so. I feel like I
Oh,
might.
dude.
Let's see.
Okay,
Gee,
yeah. If you have not, go to Jedi Arms Dealers and look at his when he first started doing the crystal chambers to the
yeah.
progression of his crystal chambers. And dude, the work that he's done is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I know, Jim. I mean, I don't know if he's gotten like super busy and stuff. I know he'll come on, but he's constantly getting a hold of Anthony, and him and Anthony are doing a lot of the Saber stuff like together. Um, but he's I don't know if like maybe his regular job is like kept him from doing, the some stuff on Mundo Mondays. I've always sent him some stuff, so I've always sent him the links and stuff. So
Yeah.
sometimes he's just not available. So some days he is, and some days he isn't. I
There you go.
consider myself very lucky when he does.
Yeah.
It's just like Anthony, right? Anthony used to come on all the time on here, and we'd kick it and have a lot of fun. But with Anthony being so busy, um, yeah, he's got a regular gig. So, but with Anthony being so busy, he's doing a lot more videos. But at the same time, he like on Monday nights is when he teaches karate to kids. So he's getting home at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock my time, 9 o'clock his time, and he gets home, does his thing, and then he probably gets busy doing all these other videos for the Sabers, and then starts working on blades.
Mm,
So he doesn't have much time to come on here, and I
yeah.
can't thank him enough because I'm trying to keep that tradition alive where we do Saber talk and talk all of this, have a
Yeah.
lot of good time doing this stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, so I tell you, oh my gosh, an hour and 40 minutes already.
I
Don't
know.
even feel like it. Feel like 5 minutes, dude.
Yeah.
Wow. My goodness.
Yeah.
That is
Well,
pretty awesome.
I hate to cut you off, but I'm gonna hop off for right now. But I had a total blast, just being here and talking with you. And if you keep doing this, I hope to be on in the future. So
Dude, I
You're
am
always
always
happy
gonna
to come
keep
on.
doing it. Yeah, man. So what I'll do, man, is I'll keep sending you links, and when you want to hop on, you hop on. If you can't, you can't, dude. I mean, it's the same
Sure.
way. I'm inviting people to come and do that.
Mhm.
So, and I'll send links. Like eventually, I want to get Jim on here too, because Jim, I've got Jim's email and stuff, and I can send Jim. And BK's been on here, dude.
Yeah.
BK, like, yeah, here you go, BK. Cheers, dude. So, Adrian, man, I certainly appreciate you coming on, dude. I am so glad you came on. I
Um,
was definitely excited to have you on here, man.
yeah, it was my pleasure. I got your text earlier today, and I was looking forward to it all day. So super fun.
Good, man. Well, you're always welcome to come on anytime you want. Like I said, every Monday, if you, I'll send you a link, dude. And if you want to come on, you come on. If you can't, you can't. No worries, dude. It's all good, man. It's all good.
All right. Thank you so much, man.
Yes, sir. Have a good one later
All right.
on.
You too.
So let's see. Okay, so back. Let's see. New Jersey is an hour. Let's see what. New Jersey is an hour ahead of Texas, Modo. Yeah, Jim. Yeah, an hour ahead. See, I'm okay. I'm backwards, dude. I'm backwards, man. It's my dyslexia kicking in, man. Cheers, BK. So yeah, man. Shameless plug time. Where can we find your work, Giano? And T.anosabers, dude. Cindy. T.anosabers. And he's got some great stuff, man. Great stuff, Cindy. You'll like everything that he's done on his deal. I was checking out a few of his vids and checking out some of the chassis and stuff that he's done. Man, awesome, dude. Awesome. So uh going back to talking shop and everything, right? The drilling services. I mean, all these different services that people can commission, but at the same time, if you want to try to do it yourself, I highly recommend you Jim, Insta and YouTube. Yeah, Instagram and YouTube, right, Jim. You know, I encourage people to do it themselves if they can, if they have the time to do it. I certainly need to do it for myself in terms like, drilling, the holes and stuff. I certainly need to try and do that for myself and quit being so damn intimidated about it. Just do it, get a piece of something and just do it, man. Because I think what's holding me back myself is the intimidation factor that I'm gonna screw up. But guess what? If you don't screw up, you're not gonna get better. So yeah, man. Try and do that. And as well, I was just trying to help him out. Oh, okay. Um, you know, going and doing these things though has made I've learned a lot, and there's a lot of things I need to learn. I want to learn a lot of the aspects and stuff. I want to be able to print out my own chassis eventually, right? But I've got so many people that I know I can count on to help me to achieve that, right? Cindy and Jim and all of you guys and um even Rich. So, I mean, there's a lot of help out there, and for people out there that get the commission stuff to do that, that's cool, man, right? T, yes, sir, man. Anytime, dude, anytime. Um, you know, I think you have to understand that uh anytime you want to attempt things like that, and if you don't mess up, then you're never going to get any better. And if you don't even attempt it, if you commission it, hey, that's fine. You commission it, that's fine. You leave it to the people who are willing to do it for you, and you pay them to do it for you. and it's all it's all the same. It's all good, man. But I tell you what, when you work at it and you do it and you accomplish it, I think it makes the Saber that much more special because you've accomplished something that you've previously had somebody else do for you. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good sabersmiths out there and good people out there that do excellent work. But there is no better feeling than to accomplish something like that yourself. And you can ask each and every one of these guys how they felt when they've accomplished these things. And I tell you what, I mean, it's unbelievable for the feeling. It is an unbelievable feeling and sense of accomplishment of finally finishing a saber, let alone getting from point A to point B, knowing that you did something right, you know. So, and there's going to be some little hiccups along the way. Don't get me wrong. There's going to be some hiccups along the way, and you got to learn from those hiccups. But you learn and you get up and you get going and you get it done. So with that, guys, I think I'm gonna let y'all go, and I'm gonna print out here, and I'm going to work on the chassis a little bit. So right now, I just see if the speaker fit on here. So I haven't secured it yet. So I'm gonna get some E6000 here pretty soon. You can see the wires sticking up right there, so I know where they're gonna go. Of course, they'll be cut later on to make sure that they fit pretty tightly, you know, in the board later on. This is not the board I'm going to use. This is just a bad board, but I use this as where I can put all the wires so that when the new board comes, I'll be able to get the all the wires where I know they're going to get and go. Excuse me. And that way, so when the new board comes, everything's gonna fit in there. I'm gonna go boop 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 boop, get it all going, and everything should be okay, supposedly. All right. So let's see here. Let's see here. And Mundo's going to brand out. You guys have a good night. And Mundo, love you.